obviously, I'm not great at skateboarding, but I picked up this old hobby during quarantine. Not much is happening, so, you know, gotta pick up some new hobbies. I've been busy, but it's been fun just like kind of doing fun things that you wouldn't do otherwise, because usually you can do fun things. But today I want to give you guys 5 tips on how to make it through the quarantine and how to train alone, and basically just how to achieve your goals while being restricted in this way. Of course, we all have different levels of restriction depending on where we live, so I can still go outside, I can still run and exercise in groups less than 10, which I'm very fortunate to have, and obviously everybody's circumstances are not the same. So this is all kind of based around my experience, but also with in mind the fact that some people just can't go outside. But there's still a great opportunity to be able to chase your goals and chase the achievements that you've always wanted and the achievements you're training for, but of course in a little bit of a different situation. Let's start this video before I ramble for another 30 minutes. I like to ramble. Okay, so my first tip is to compete against your friends, virtually. So randomly on this one day, my friend Austin Hodge pulled up to this run, and obviously we can run together here in Virginia. Let me just emphasize that one last time. And basically he was like, I'm gonna run 90 miles this week. And I was like, I bet you I can run more miles than you this week. Long story short, I ended up losing. But the cool part about this was that I was more motivated than ever to just be running and logging miles on Strava. It just was like fun. Like, I don't know, I just enjoyed kind of competing against Austin, and I know it encouraged him to run more and it encouraged me to run more, and I'm gonna be challenging more of my friends to do that. We actually put a little bit of a wager down on it. We said $5, so I ended up having to Venmo him $5. You don't have to put money down. You probably shouldn't put money down, but it's just fun to compete against your friends. You don't get to compete against your friends at practice, so you have to compete against them in the virtual world. Look who it is! What's up? Bashir, tell everybody about virtual races.
Races?
Yeah, tell people how they can virtually race people during this quarantine.
All right, come with me. So the best way to virtually race people during the quarantine is probably not to do it together synchronously, right?
Yeah.
You want to probably just post your results online. So I've seen a lot of things where maybe you'll go run a 2 mile and you'll post your time, right?
Yeah.
And you got to video it, because some of y'all be cappers, no lie. Some of y'all be cappers. So you gotta post. You don't have to post a full 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, however fast you are. You just gotta post a couple splits. You can put that up in the social media and then let people kind of challenge that. That's the #1 way I know.
Yeah. Or you can put it on Strava, and that's pretty much equally as great.
Equally as great.
But yes, challenging your friends to a virtual race is a great way to stay motivated during this quarantine. Should we record another point on the porch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was crazy. It was a conversation.
So my second point is basically that you should stay consistent during this time. Obviously, like, it makes sense to stay consistent, but especially during this time, like, you really have to focus on not missing a ton of days. And I think that, kind of going back to point 1, doing something like a competition with your friend can motivate you to not, you know, miss these days. I know it's like a long time before your next race, and like, it may be months, maybe even a year?
Maybe even a year until you get a race.
So like, you gotta really focus on the long term and not just be thinking, oh, my race next week, my race next week, you know? Like, you gotta really be focused on that.
You gotta love the process, honestly. You gotta love the process. You gotta just enjoy going out there, training for nothing, honestly. Which is not a bad thing, that's just a process. And if you just find joy in that process, that'll keep you motivated.
But also during this time, it's gonna be like a long time until you're racing again. So you kind of have to respect moderation and not be running like 10 times a day. You know, you can't be going too hard yet.
Don't get hurt.
Because the season is long.
You can't get hurt when there's no season. Like, don't overdo it and have an overuse injury. Make sure you're taking care of your body first off, so that you're ready for anything when the season actually comes.
That makes sense, yeah. Like, if you have an injury, try to heal that up, like Jake over here.
Yeah.
Jake, tell them about your situation.
I got a little overuse on the shins, so I took about 2 or 3 weeks off.
And then now
I'm coming back every other day.
But you're not in a rush.
Not in a rush, because I won't be racing for a long time.
Probably a year until you have a real race.
Yep.
Yeah, outdoor tracks.
It's okay. It's okay though.
It happens.
I wasn't planning on running in college anyway, so it's okay.
Same.
Point 3. Should we go inside for that one? Change the scenery. So I was feeling good about that video. I think there were good points so far, but the points after this point are not points that I want to continue with. So I've come up with 3 more great points to kind of change what I was going to say, but you wouldn't have known what I was going to say until now because I brought you out of the video to know what, So my new 3rd point is that this video is sponsored by Audible. That's not actually the point, but this video is sponsored by Audible because basically I was going to say that a great way to stay motivated during quarantine is to listen to music, listen to audiobooks while you're running. Listening to audiobooks is what I do on my runs, and I honestly find it incredibly motivating, and it's a way for me to be stimulated while I run. I get to learn something while I run. And when I'm not running with friends, it's my way to kind of just feel like I'm running with somebody because you have a narrator talking to you and telling the story of whatever you're listening to, which is incredible. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I love Audible. I've listened to countless audiobooks on Audible. Let me show you my collection here. This is my collection here. We've got all these books. It's a lot of books for a 20-year-old kid. Some of my favorites are Let My People Go Surfing by Yvonne Chouinard, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. I can't say the last name. The Third Door by Alex Benign. And most recently I've been listening to Sam Walton's Made in America. It's basically the story of how Sam Walton founded Walmart, and it's just like a really interesting story because we go into Walmarts all the time and you don't think much of it, but it's really interesting to kind of hear how it all came to be. And I've just loved listening to it on my runs, while I've been driving places, while I've been traveling. Literally, you can listen to Audible anywhere. And the coolest part is that they have thousands of titles for you to choose from. So if you go to audible.com/Zach Levet or text Zach Levet to 500-500, you get 1 free audiobook and have access to all of the Audible Originals monthly selections. This is an incredible offer, and if you have any audiobook that you're interested in listening to, then be sure to go click the link. I know that was an advertisement, but genuinely from the bottom of my heart, that is what I do on my runs. That is what my 3rd point was gonna be, and I just happened to be sponsored to tell you guys that. So I can't thank Audible enough for sponsoring this video, and I can't recommend enough going and listening to an audiobook on your run. It's game changing. My 4th point is that if you are stuck inside, you can still do things like core and cardio core to better yourself. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you're doing core, you take breaks in between exercises. But in my opinion, if you link exercises together and have no breaks, so if you do like a minute of jumping jacks, a minute of push-ups, a minute of burpees, a minute of squats, and run on the exercises, and doing them hard enough, your heart rate's gonna be up. It's like you're kind of getting a cardio workout while doing core. And so I like to coin this as cardio core. I don't know if that's a technical name, but honestly, if you do something like 7 minutes of cardio core, maybe 2 sets of that, 3 sets of that, I don't know how much time you have to be doing core, but you probably have a lot of time to be doing core. And it's a great way to kind of get your heart rate up as well as kind of just strengthen your entire core, which will help you down the road with running. But cardio core is just a great way to get in an exercise while also doing core. And so I cannot recommend doing it enough during this crazy time that we are experiencing, especially if you're locked inside. Now it's time for our last point, which is point 5, but this point is a bit abstract, I have to say. It's a pretty nice day out. So this is what a day in Richmond, Virginia looks like, especially when your neighbor's house burned down last summer, and so they're rebuilding it still. Nice. So yeah, this 5th and final point is a bit abstract. I know this video is kind of about running and your goals and all those things, but I think a really important thing to not forget about is your mental health during this time. I know a lot of runners don't think about it, but honestly I think your mental health is almost one of the most important parts of being a great runner, because for me, I think I'm only a good runner because I can race mentally strong. Like, I developed this ability to just lock into this weird mode where I can just like go super sane and just kind of do things I wouldn't expect to do otherwise. And I think that comes with a good level of mental health. This video is not about mental health, but I think just to conclude, like, this is a crazy time that we're living in. Like, nobody's ever experienced this. This is like a first for all of us. And of course, like, it can make you feel weird. It can make you feel trapped. It can make you feel like you're stagnating. It can make you feel like you're missing your friends. Like, it can make you feel a lot of different ways. But I think it's an important time to reflect and say, what is making me sad? What is making me happy? And kind of sorting that out. Choosing to get negative things out of your life and choosing to keep the positives. But one thing that I sent out in the Live Well newsletter is basically a thought exercise that I made up. It's not like, I don't know, it's nothing revolutionary. So first I made a list of things that I did yesterday. So not today, yesterday, a completed day. I wrote down activities like going on TikTok, going on Instagram, going for a bike ride, going for a run, like all the things I did yesterday. And then I wrote down what I want to be doing in a day on the other side. And then I kind of just flipped between the pieces of paper, the two lists, and saw what I was doing and what I wasn't doing and how they were not aligning. And basically the next day, I just started my day with intention. Intention to avoid TikTok, intention to avoid going on Instagram a bunch. And honestly, this small exercise just helped me feel more content with my day. Like, it sounds so small and so silly, but even something small like that can be a good check-in and kind of like a keeping you accountable type thing to help you stay on track. I know that's not gonna solve any world problem or anything like that, but it's just a small thing that I did to kind of help my own personal happiness and kind of get back to a place where I felt confident and content with the days that I was having. But doing whatever you can to help others around you and help yourself is so important. But that's all for today, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I hope that some of these tips will help you. And as usual guys, live happy and be healthy, and I will see you soon.